Hi, I'm here with Dr. Philipp Sandner of the Frankfurt School Blockchain Center. How are you today, Dr. Sandner?
No, very good, very good. But right now in Germany it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I've been awake now since, I don't know, 8 hours, so it was a fascinating conference.
Keep on battling through.
Yeah.
That's good. Now let's talk about blockchain in an academic sense. Where do you see blockchain maturing in the next 5 or 10 years?
Blockchain is a key technology of the future. I think this is absolutely clear now, and now that I've also been in Korea the first time, I even more agree that there is so much potential out there. And sometimes I feel that people in academic haven't really seen this potential, especially in the area of business and economics, because people cycle times, if you call it that way, if you call it, cycle times in academia are rather slow, and therefore, concerning your question, I would say that academic people sometimes still have to discover blockchain.
So could you tell us about your work at the Frankfurt School Blockchain Center and how that's building partnerships in Europe and Germany?
The Blockchain Center of the Frankfurt School is meant to be a platform. We are doing workshops, seminars, conferences. We are also developing prototypes, and it's all about being a platform for knowledge transfer, knowledge transmission, and also like a platform for making people meet each other. I think this is very important because despite all electronic means, email, WhatsApp and all this stuff, I think it's very important that people meet each other personally, and therefore we are trying to help building a community in Germany, and so far it really works very nicely.
Could you tell us about the EastWest crypto bridge?
Yeah, well, it was just an idea we had some months ago, and the idea was to basically combine the communities of Europe and in Asia, because right now the dynamic in the crypto area is so high that very often we are not able to see what's happening elsewhere. Yeah, I know it from Germany, you're sticking to Germany, you know what's happening in your neighborhood, in your city, but this way you're also neglecting what's happening elsewhere in Asia and in the US. And with what we call EastWest bridge, the idea is to bridge these ecosystems and to bring, for example, Asian projects to Europe and vice versa.
What are the biggest obstacles in the way of mass adoption of blockchain technology?
I would say that at this point of time, the mass adoption is kind of hindered because those people being in charge of infrastructure, like companies, governments, and like large organizations, very often people in the decision-making positions, they don't really understand blockchain in detail, and it's not a criticism. It's just the way it is because the technology is difficult to understand, and it just needs some time until people understand. And then concerning mass adoption, we shouldn't complain that it takes so long until we have blockchain everywhere. It's an innovation, and like other innovations, it just will take 5 years, 10 years until it will be mass adopted. And I think so far, given the dynamic we see, adoption is going quite well. Not always complaining about lacking speed. It's really dynamic so far.
And what's the perspective of European governments and authorities like the European Central Bank on DLT, that's distributed ledger technology?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So far I would say that they are not providing any large-scale resistance, something like this. There is no plans to prohibit this entire ecosystem. It's more at this point of time getting more and more openness. People from governments, central banks and so on, they would like to understand what is crypto, what is blockchain and so on. It's just taking some time until these organizations understanding the technology in all its aspects. But luckily we are not having, we don't have politics or politicians in Germany or Europe who are really resisting to this. Yeah, people are very open. I've also been at the Ministry of Finance now multiply in Germany, and people are very open. They want to understand it. They want to see where are the weaknesses, where are the chances. And my honest feeling is that they see that it's a key technology, and they try to push the technology. But frankly, it could go much quicker.
Now, talking about your role as advisor for the Hycon project, what was it that first attracted you to the Hycon project?
Well, first of all, we are trying to support Hycon from the Frankfurt School Blockchain Center, and what I really liked is that you guys came over to Frankfurt, and it wasn't some kind of contract being signed virtually, just by having some emails exchanged, but you take the effort and came to Frankfurt, and this showed me that there is some real interest in what we are doing at the Frankfurt School of Finance and Management, and this interest being shown, plus the people like you, Jason, and the others show that like it seems to be a very, very good team. And now that I have met further members of the team, I can confirm that it really makes an absolutely good impression. Like, I don't know, 45 developers, 40 other staff members. It's a huge team behind all this, and what I feel, people are really smart and good. So at the end of the day, it's the people establishing such projects. But you also know that nobody can predict the future. It makes a perfect impression, but time will tell whether you will be the next big blockchain right in time and establishing yourself as a good project.
Now, Frankfurt School and Gosper have formed a partnership, and that's for blockchain research. So what interesting research do you think can come in the next few years in this interesting space that we're all involved in?
Well, so far people have done a hell lot of research about use cases, how can blockchain be applied and so on. This has been like the past 2-3 years. Now it's like first developments in the way where people are trying to understand cryptocurrencies, ICOs, and how does this entire market work. This is right in the beginning. It's like different cycles going on. And concerning us, I think it will be very important to think about interoperability and governance of blockchain systems. I think these two topics are key for the upcoming years. But frankly, we as a university, but also other people out there, first need to understand everything about blockchain technology before we then afterwards can think about detailed research questions about governance, interoperability and other things. So far, crypto economics is one of the key topics, but even this is still in the beginning, and other, in my mind, more important things like governance questions and stuff are still for the future.
At the Frankfurt School Blockchain Center, are you running any courses for students to learn about cryptocurrency?
Yeah, of course. We have a so-called certification program where people can learn blockchain within 8 days. Well, nobody's getting like a programmer in 8 days, but the goal is to basically onboard people in 8 days and like loading them with knowledge such that afterwards they have really understood the key principles, for example, of Ethereum, Hyperledger, and the other frameworks. We are also putting blockchain now in each course which I'm holding, but so far we are not having like a specific master program for blockchain. We don't have this yet. Maybe we have this in the future.
Now, coming up shortly, there is the 10-year anniversary of the initial white paper.
Yeah,
Bitcoin.
True.
Now that's an exciting prospect. I think that we should have a little celebration, and we would love to have you back over in Korea to join us for the 10-year anniversary of the Bitcoin white paper. That's
a very nice idea, frankly, and well, it's coming up in a couple of months, I think, or weeks, and should be exciting. Actually, this entire ecosystem should really celebrate this day, or when the white paper has been published. Like 10 years, that's a number, and let's try to get this some kind of virtual celebration. It would be fascinating.
We look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for the interview, Dr. Sandner, and I hope you have a great stay in Seoul, Korea.
Yeah, no, thanks very much for inviting me, and it was a pleasure being here.
Thank you very much.